Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
They say everything is bigger in Texas, and tonight we've got a Lone Star state-size showdown for you to conclude the round of 12 in the Overtake iRacing League's Xfinity Series. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the OiL Xfinity Series live on Vspeed. I will be one half of those in the booth tonight, but the only one you'll probably hear. I'm Alex Gagnon. Alongside me, giving you all the camera shots you know and love, it's producer Christian Hill. We have a riveting one for you here tonight. Final race of the round of 12. After tonight, 4 more drivers will be eliminated from championship contention. So we take a look at our points coming into tonight's race. It is still anybody's bet on who's going to advance. Guys like Wes Wiegand and Craig Schroeder, their attempts might be over, barring a win here tonight. Tony Iverson back a far ways as well, 21 points back at the cut line. However, Justin Ray still within 5 points of Matt Grenier for that 8th and final spot. Cody Anderson only 2 points clear as well, so it is anybody's bet how they're going to get that sorted out here as we make our way into the final race of this round. Michael Kostick won last week at Darlington, punching his ticket to the next round. He's in good shape. Also, I'm looking at the as things sit now, you know, guys like Alex Penn, Daniel Cunningham, Andy Kurtz, all the guys who will reasonably make their way in on points here tonight. Whether they get that win or not, they are probably in good shape. Where things start getting really interesting, I feel like, is that last couple spots that you can see there. Drew Prohl locked in to the round of 8 with his win 2 weeks ago at Kansas on that fuel strategy play. That's why he is up above Cody Anderson right now, despite having fewer points. He's punched his ticket. Anderson, Grenier, Ray, all separated by 7 points. 3 drivers, 2 spots. That's what it's going to come down to tonight for those 3 on who will advance. And And they'll have to get it done here over 120 laps at Texas Motor Speedway, this 1.5 mile quad oval. Certainly going to provide a bit of a challenge here tonight. Rather controversial in the stock car racing scene. Some people like it, a lot of people don't. But that 20 to 24 degree banking in the corner, that variable banking, creates a lot of opportunities to try and gain track position, whether you want to take the shortest way around down low or try and get a huge run off those high arching corners there in turns 2 and 4. And the quad oval gonna maybe cause a little bit of havoc tonight. It gets really narrow trying to get through there. And it will be the third straight 1.5 mile style track that we've had on the calendar here for the round of 12. Kansas 2 weeks ago, Darlington last week, Texas tonight. So some of those drivers who we've seen time and time again perform at these 1.5 miles could be someone to keep an eye on here tonight. Guys like Michael Kostick, who won here last week, Daniel Cunningham, who won at Nashville, Kurtz, who won at Gateway, Tony Iverson, who won at Charlotte. All drivers to keep an eye on here tonight as former winners. And then those guys we mentioned a few minutes ago, when it came down to the point situation, if they can advance on to the next round. They're going to be hungry and desperate for every point they can get their hands on here this evening. Taking a quick look at our weather tonight. It's gonna be a beautiful night for racing here at Texas Motor Speedway. 71 degree temperature in the air, a 101 track temp as we go take the green flag here in just about a minute or so. That being said, with this being already pretty late evening here at Texas Motor Speedway, that track temp going to drop in a hurry after the green flag. So if you're a driver who enjoys warmer track conditions, the only time you're really going to be a happy camper is these opening 20-30 laps until we get to the stage break at lap 40. After that, all bets are off when this track starts to freeze up a little bit. And as they are getting ready to conclude qualifying here, it gives us one more second to take a look at our race analysis, our race preview here tonight. It'll be 120 laps with the stage coming out at lap 40. The iRacing fixed setup with 4 sets of available tires outside the ones they already have. An unlimited amount of green, white, checkered attempts should they need it here tonight. And a pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. That under green flag pit conditions might be a little tricky trying to get slowed down off of 4. But with that, it is time to take a look at our starting grid for tonight's OiL Xfinity race from Texas Motor Speedway, the last one in the round of 12, trying to crown an inaugural champion. On pole here tonight, it's the 80 of Drew Prohl. Locked himself in 2 weeks ago with a victory, and now going to pick up his first pole of the season with a 30.081, just ahead of the 24 of Tony Iverson with a 30.087. Iverson in a must-win situation tonight if he wants to advance to the round of 8. Barrett Morton rolls off in third in that number 9 machine. Sean Kaiser to his outside in the 25. Daniel Cunningham, the runner-up driver from a week ago, rolling off 5th in that 08 machine. Andy Kurtz, third place finisher last week, he'll roll off to his outside in 6th. Back to row 4, it's the 94 of Bobby Hall Jr. and the 11 of Dustin Reinstedel, our winner from Talladega. Back in row 5, the 15 of Matt Grenier and the 30 of Alex Penn consists the back 2 cars of the top 10 here tonight. Behind them, Justin Ray, the 38, rolls off 11th. He is in a do-or-die situation here this evening. Michael Kostick rolls off 12th, last week's winner at Darlington. 13th, it is the 67 of Michael Cole. To his outside, the 42 of Cody Anderson. In 15th, it is Tom Hall in the 93. Lucas Lyons rolling off 16th. He won at Pocono to kick off these playoffs. And 17th tonight, it's the 31 of Blake Hensley and that Toyota Supra. And to his outside, it is the 32 of Brett Bieber, making his return after missing last week at Darlington. So 18 cars ready to do battle here from Texas Motor Speedway in just a moment. A lot of these guys fighting to try and keep themselves in the playoffs. Tony Iverson, Justin Ray, multiple drivers who are below the cut line and are going to try and race their way in here tonight. Ray would need to just get a few more points over those two cars ahead of him in the point standings. Tony Iverson, about 20 points back, would likely need a victory here tonight in order to advance. As the field starts to stack up, you can feel that anticipation building throughout the field. Everyone getting lined up and ready to go. It'll be 40 laps from the start of this one to the one and only scheduled stage break. Nice long opportunity for these guys to let it rip and see what they've brought to the track here tonight. Pace car peels off, green flag waiting in the air. They're going to hit that restart zone, and we are playoff racing from Texas. Everyone taking that low side around through 3 and 4 as Drew Prohl, our pole sitter, will lead the opening lap here. That 80 machine had a tough start to the regular season, barely snuck his way into the playoffs, and then a timely win a couple weeks ago at Kansas punched his ticket to the round of 8, looking to potentially try and go 2 for 3 in this round. Should he find a way to win here tonight, but he's going to have a very hungry Tony Iverson breathing down the back of his neck, who needs a win to move on here tonight. And those top 3 cars, when you add Barrett Morton as well, all trying to stack on top of each other here as we see a little more action back in the back part of the top 10. Bobby Hall going to try and take that outside line from 7th. Going to see if he can find any real estate to the outside of Kurtz here as they go into 3 and 4. Going to get a good run off the corner there was Hall. He's going to have a nose ahead, but he will not clear. Now he will. Jumps himself into line there, back into P6. Fans back out to the outside of turn 1. Difference of philosophy here right now for the 94 and a lot of the remaining members of the top 10. As it looks like Sean Kaiser runs out of room there to try and close off Hall. The 94 now surging to the outside, trying to take away that spot. Sorry, that's from Cunningham in the 08. Kaiser's the car ahead of him in that black and rainbow 25. So Bobby Hall on the move early. He's already into the top 5, looking for more here as he closes in onto the back of Sean Kaiser. Meanwhile, contact further back. Kurtz and Grenier got into it, going into 1 and 2. Neither car lost it, but Grenier made contact with the back bumper of the 5. Got him real loose to the lower part of the corner. It's incredible that he was able to hold on to that. Here goes Hall to the outside now. Power move around the 25 of Kaiser, and he clips the wall through the quad oval. This quad oval, nothing to take lightly. Those walls come at you in a hurry in that double left-hander. So the 94, plenty of open real estate in front of him now, but he's already a 2.5 back of 3rd place. So while he worked his way through the field, they were all losing time to those cars up front. As it looks like Tony Iverson here is going to close right into the back bumper of Drew Prohl for the lead. You see Iverson there got within a 1/10 of a second going into turn 1, had to back out a little bit on the corner. But the 24 machine showing good speed early here as he once again reels in the 80. And one of them brushed the wall there going into 3. I think it might have been the 80 of Prohl. As here comes Iverson trying to sneak in the inside here off of 4. Side by side through the quad oval. Iverson looking down low, Prohl up high. They're both going to drive it real deep in there. Prohl not giving Iverson any room to fan up the track. They'll make their way off the corner, still door-to-door they stay. Iverson trying to pry the lead away from Drew Prohl here in 3 and 4. And he will that time around. Took nearly a full lap to get it done. But Tony Iverson takes the lead here on lap 8. Now make it lap 9. And the 24 machine controlling his own destiny, trying to punch his ticket to the round of 8. Iverson was not at Darlington a week ago. Did finish 9th at Kansas in this round to give him the points that he's got at the moment. Still sitting though 21 points back behind the cut line. The win is going to be the only thing that he can use to punch his ticket to the next round. And he's opened up a healthy gap over Drew Prohl, already 0.6 of a second. Barrett Morton now also closing in on the back bumper of the 80. Going to look to do some damage here, potentially into 3. Both of them go down to the low side of the track. Where most cars have been content through 3 and 4 has been that low side. Turns 1 and 2 seems to be where there might be a little more opportunities to shift around and find what lane works for you, at least in the early going. On to lap 11 here. Prohl's got a mirror full of Barrett Morton off of 2. That 9 car is there, now diving to the inside is Morton. He's going to look to take this spot away into 3. Just like Tony Iverson a couple laps ago, he'll go by on the inside, getting around the 80 of Prohl, and drive away as they hit the quad oval. Prohl going to settle into 3rd here. He's not under attack just yet. Still has about an 0.8 of a second gap back to Bobby Hall. Drew Prohl already doing a little bit of clutching actually through there. Wonder if there's any sort of fuel concern trying to stretch it to the end of the stage. Astute observation there from producer Christian. The 80 already maybe trying to think about either getting off cycle or just stretching something here, as Bobby Hall has closed right into him. The last car kind of in this lead group here. It's another 2 seconds back after the 94 here. Hall going to fly past on the inside. He'll take this position away as they go into 3 and 4. Almost a little bit of a tight moment there with Hall and Prohl. That's the, I just realized that's the first time I've gotten that name right tonight. And again, I apologize. Old habits die hard. So Prohl, our pole sitter, back now in the 4th position. Really falling off. You can see how much that gap is already opened up the Hall ahead of him. And Matt Grenier hovering around a second back. Well, maybe not hovering anymore. He's starting to close that gap down in a hurry. Here comes the 15 of Matt Grenier, who, while we were watching this action up front, got around both the 25 of Kaiser and the 08 of Cunningham to put himself into the 5th position. Looks like Cody Anderson's on the move as well. That 42 machine closing in on the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. That would be the battle for 8th place. Cody Anderson, one of those drivers just barely above the cut line right now. His big competition would be the 38 of Justin Ray, who's sitting back in 14th. So right now things are looking good, but if Tony Iverson were to win this race, that does bump the cut line up a whole nother car and would take him from the 7th to the 8th person. So every point that the 42 can grab here, he's going to try and do as he gets ever so closer to the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. Kurtz not locked in either, but with a significant points gap, is likely going to be in good shape when this one's all said and done, barring catastrophe. So 16 laps complete here. Tony Iverson out front by 0.4 of a second over Barrett Morton. Bobby Hall Jr., Matt Grenier, Drew Prail, your top 5 as they run, with Kaiser Cunningham, Kurtz Anderson, and Reinstedel rounding out your top 10. About halfway through the opening stage here at Texas. And a little bit of action deeper in the field there. Outside the top 10, we're seeing some stuff happen. Blake Hensley on the slow climb up through the field. Same deal there with the 32 of Brett Bieber. They have not made a ton of progress, but they continue to slowly pick off cars. They started on that back row. They've moved up to 14th and 16th, respectively. Looks like Anderson's lost some time. The 5 ahead of him. He's starting to fall back into the clutches of the 11 of Reinstedel, though, who cannot just think about being on the offensive right now, as he's got a mirror full of Lucas Lyons. So the 11 kind of having to play a little bit of offense and defense here as he makes his way into 3. Meanwhile, just ahead of this, the 08 of Cunningham going to close in here on the 80 of Prail. Kaiser already got around him. The 08 of Cunningham looking to do the same here. You see the onboard here with the 25 of Sean Kaiser, who I believe is making his OiL Xfinity debut tonight. Not a stranger to the Overtake iRacing League as a whole. The first time in the Xfinity series for OiL tonight. Had a pretty decent qualifying effort and running in the top 5 right now. It's been a pretty solid start here for the driver of that number 25 Exalta machine. Prail's got a mirror full of Cunningham and Kurtz behind him. That 80 car has a lot to defend right now. Producer Christian, do you know if the 80 of Prail is still clutching it? That he is. So he's working on something in that car right now. He did win Kansas off a fuel strategy. Curious to see what he's got in mind, because he jumped on this the moment he lost the lead. It was only around like lap 8 or so, and now he's been fully committed to trying to clutch it through the corners here. As you see Cunningham and Kurtz going to try and find their way on by. The 08, close call there. Got to find his way around the inside. The 5 as well. That actually might have been a little too close. I think the 80 may have actually got up into the wall a little bit there. The 08 of Cunningham gave him no room coming off the corner. But he will get on by. So is the 5 of Andy Kurtz. And now our pole sitter, Drew Prail, falls back into the 8th position here on lap 23. Meanwhile, up front, the number 9 machine of Barrett Morton bearing down on Tony Iverson for the lead. You can see that gap about 2 car lengths as they make their way through 3 and 4. Although Iverson got a great release off, he'll reopen up that gap just a little bit. Once Iverson had taken the lead away from Prail, it looked to be smooth sailing for a minute, but that 9 car of Barrett Morton seems to be dialed in right now, having a pretty solid run. These 2 cars nearly a full straightaway ahead of the next car on track there, Bobby Hall, 2.5 seconds behind. You saw him coming off of turn 2 as these cars are about 2/3 of the way down the backstretch. So the battle for the stage win here very much might fall down to just the 24 and the 9. Down the back straightaway they go once again. Iverson has reopened up that gap just a little bit, but a bad entry there. Morton going to fly toward the back bumper of Iverson here through 3 and 4. Cut that deficit by more than half. Now within a car length of Iverson. Going to look to the inside here in 1 and 2. Going to dive in. Can he slide up in front of the 24 machine? Yes, he will. Barrett Morton takes the lead here at Texas, our 3rd different leader of the day, doing so this time through turns 1 and 2, while Iverson had taken the lead away from Prail in 3 and 4. So Right now, the battle for the lead can happen at really any point on track. We've seen cars make both ends of this mile-and-a-half speedway work. He's going to open this up to about half a second. You know, I'm looking at this timing table. One of the cars, I think, even though it's early, the alarm bell should already be going off a little bit. It's for the 38 of Justin Ray. Qualified around that top 10 area, has fallen all the way back to 18th. He was the first car on the outside looking in tonight, was only 2 points back coming into tonight's race of a potential point spot in Matt Grenier. The 15 taking care of business right now. He's up to 4th, but the 38 currently sitting in the 18th position. He's got a lot of work to do if he's going to advance to the next round right now. Meanwhile, up through the just looking through the field here, looks like the 31 of Hensley and the 48 of Lyons, two cars that have ran each other really tight all season long and have found each other on track for 11th. You see, he actually, I think, just gets around. Oh, it gotten around Anderson, leaning on the back bumper there is Hensley. You see, trying to look maybe to the outside here of Lyons. Lyons runs about a lane off the bottom. The 31 will do the same. Now the 31 going to poke his nose out, look to the inside. Alex Penn takes a spot away from Drew Prail just ahead of him. Side by side, this is the battle for 11th. Lyons on the outside, Hensley on the inside, Cody Anderson waiting in the wings. Well, crossover move there. Good block from the 48. Forces the 31 to look to the high side here in 1 and 2. However, Lyons runs out of room as Drew Prail ended up right in front of him. Going to completely halt his momentum. Here comes Blake Hensley to the inside off of turn 2. That 31 machine. Going to dive now to the inside of Lyons. Can he make it work on the inside? Lyons got a great run through the middle of the corner. He'll pull alongside Prail. Prail, though, with a good exit. Almost 2 by 2, but they're fanned out enough as they make their way in the 1. Prail leading Lyons, Hensley, and Anderson in this group. You see they're all on the back bumper of Michael Kostick as well. Here goes Hensley once again to the inside of Lyons. Nowhere to go, though, as Prail runs that inside lane. Lyons again with a great launch through the middle of the corner. And this time he will clear the 80. Now into the top 10 here, or now 9th, is Lucas Lyons. Prail falls back to 10th. And he's about to fall out of the top 10 if Hensley can find his way around here through 1 and 2. Going to slide up in front of Anderson. Anderson going to look to do the crossover. He looks back to the inside of Hensley in 3. Side by side they go now. Prail washes up the track a little bit, takes away that lane from the 31. Keeping them side by side. Good little bit of defense there. As now he looks at the inside of Kostick. Kostick slows up the 31 there. These two cars side by side now. As Lucas Lyons got on by for 8th. Whole lot of cars swapping positions right now in the back part of the top 10. Lucas Lyons going to try and get some separation here, but Kostick and Prail not having it. The 8 and the 80 slide in behind the 48. The 31 and 42 close in tow as we make our way on the lap 34. Stage break coming in about 6 laps. Bobby Hall has overtaken the lead here from Barrett Morton. Just looking at the timetable, not entirely sure when that happened, but the 94 of Bobby Hall becomes our 4th different leader as he now has taken the lead on lap 34. Still a lot of action in this group here. You see Tony Iverson's fallen all the way back to 7th. I think a lot of cars are realizing the fuel strategy element of this opening stage. They're trying to work it here sooner rather than later. Prail got the early jump on it, I think, but he lost a lot of track position in the progress. You see Kostick get back around Lyons. Hensley now looking to the inside of Prail. Nowhere to go for the 31. The 80 gonna run him down. Contact between the two. A little bit of door-to-door action between Hensley and Prail. In the middle of the corner, neither side loses control though. And the 31 will slide up in front of the 80 to take away that 9th spot. A little bit of contact with the wall there for the 80. Going to check up his momentum and the momentum of Anderson back behind him. Going to let Kostick, Lyons, and Hensley pull away just a little bit. There's a lot of action there. Still some action just ahead of him. Lucas Lyons now going to look to try and get around Michael Kostick. Blake Hensley also on the scene as they make their way off of 2. These cars all running nose to tail. Great run off the corner from the 8. 31 and 48 going to drive it real deep here into 3. The gap hanging at about 1 car length. They both pulled away from the Supra that time, was Kostick and Lyons. As they go in the turns 1 and 2, it becomes suddenly just a 2-car battle for the moment. The 31 going to try and rally his way back in the final couple laps. And the 3 they go once again. Kostick just ahead of Lyons and Hensley. 7th, 8th, and 9th. A good run so far for that number 8 machine, trying to build that momentum after winning last week at Darlington. So we've got 1 lap to go here in the stage. Looks like Barrett Morton now back around Kaiser and Hall. Got a lot of action up front here as well. As you see Hensley got it on around. Kaiser and Morton, this is the battle for the stage win. Kaiser now going to roll that outside. Got a nose ahead of the 9. Going to fly on by. And then the 25 of Sean Kaiser not only takes the lead, but will take the stage victory here at Texas Motor Speedway. 4th or 5th different leader here tonight is the 25, and made it happen when it needed to. With it being his first drive here in the OiL Xfinity Series, stage win, maybe not going to give him a ton of points in the grand scheme of things, but certainly going to throw this race on its head, knowing there's another wicked fast car up at the front of the field right now. Looks like someone already peeled down pit lane. I don't even think the pits were open yet, but someone already ducked in. Barrett Morton going to bring it on down. Wonder if he was having fuel issues and couldn't make it another lap around. There was a lot of clutching happening in that opening stage. Kostick and Bieber also making their way down. Again, I do not believe the pits have opened yet. Well, here comes a good chunk of the rest of the field, so maybe I was wrong and maybe Kaiser just went on ahead. Cole, Tom Hall, and Bobby Hall Jr. all making their stops around now. Producer Christian, what was your thoughts here on the opening 40 laps of this one? Producer Christian saying there was some interesting strategies that are beginning to unfold here through the opening 40 laps. I'm inclined to agree. Had a couple of cars come down pit road in the early going, most notably the 15 of Matt Grenier pit early. A lot of cars tried stretching it to the end of the stage for the points. The 15 could have used those points, but you know, maybe he's seeing the points at the end of this race being more valuable. So as they all peel their way down pit road, looks like the 80 of Drew Prail would have come down pit road in about 10th or 11th. The fuel save may have got him a spot, but for being the pole sitter, I'm sure he's going to look to try and drive his way back to the front here. That opening stage, maybe not how the 80 wanted it to go. Alrighty, folks, we're going to take a quick side-by-side commercial while they are getting pace in the round, and we'll be right back in just a moment here on Vspeed. Alrighty, folks, welcome back just in time as the pace car peels off here. A lot of cars going to have to start at the back of the line here as they came down a closed pits, but that green flag back in the air. The 25 of Sean Kaiser gets a great launch in the 1, and we are racing once again at Texas after the stage break. Roaring down the backstretch here as they get up to speed. Lucas Lyons going to try and take away second place from Andy Kirch as there is a hornet's nest behind him. Look at this mess from fourth on back. This top 10 battle all shuffled up. Hensley, Cunningham, Prail, Anderson, Tony Iverson, Matt Grenier are all in the mix, as is Alex Penn. 2 by 2 through the middle of the corner here. Prail on the inside of Cunningham, Iverson to the inside of Anderson. They're all rushing forward like it's Black Friday, and they're looking at that 70-inch TV, not giving each other any room out there. As Anderson now looks to the inside of Cunningham. Prail and Hensley almost ran out of room through the quad oval there. They'll get it sorted. What a great restart for the 80 of Drew Prail. Started back in that 4th or 5th row, all the way up in the P4 now as he gets around Hensley. Iverson trying to follow him through as well. The 2 cars that qualified on the front row charging to the front here on lap 46. And now it looks like everything has single filed out with that big glob of cars through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is where things get a little more dicey as Iverson looks to the inside here of Prail. A little bit of a late move from the 24, going to try and step out around the 80. Wasn't able to get that momentum on the low side though. Will fall back in behind that green number 80 car. Andy Kirch, meanwhile, got around Sean Kaiser up front, as did Lucas Lyons. So Andy Kirch becomes, I believe, the 6th different leader tonight, as that 5 machine trucking along up front. And Bobby Hall making another stop down pit road here. Looks like Lyons going for the lead, as Iverson goes up against Prail for 5th, or 4th, make it. He will squeeze the 80 out of that spot. Now we're going to look to the outside of Kaiser here on the front stretch. Some aggressive moves from Tony Iverson here as he tries to work his way back to the lead. A lunge from the 80, what a move. Flies past the 25, not a lot of room to work there. makes it go, moves into P4. Lions now up front, going to try and challenge Andy Kurtz for the lead. Got a battle for the lead there with the 5 and the 48. Roar down the backstretch here. Tony Iverson going to get involved potentially in this battle for the lead as well. Andy Kurtz, Lucas Lyons, Tony Iverson now knows the tail. The 48 had a couple of laps where he closed in to within 0.05 of a second of snatching the lead away from Andy Kurtz. Wasn't able to close the deal though, and now going to have another car in contention as the very hungry Tony Iverson tries to close in here as he looks for win number 3 on the season and the win that would extend his championship hopes. It's on the back bumper of Lions here through 3 and 4. Gonna maybe look high, runs out of room. Gonna settle in behind. They get a great run though on Kurtz. Here comes Lions to the inside for the lead. The 48 down on the apron, the 5, that middle lane. Kurt's going to try and get that run off that higher side. Wasn't able to make it work, though. New leader here on lap 52, Lucas Lyons. He's immediately under assault, though, from Tony Iverson as the 24 shoots the gap on the low side past Kurtz. And now through the quad oval they go. The 48 seeing a whole lot of Bandits Motorsports number 24 in his mirror. That gap shrinking down to nearly nothing. Iverson steps out on the backstretch. Looks to go to the inside here in 3 and 4. Gonna try and lunge it in there. No room given from the 48 up top. They'll slide their way out of the corner door to door. And at the line, Lyons retains by a 100th of a second. But can he continue this pace on that outside lane? Got a slight nose ahead there of Iverson through the middle of the corner. And they'll be door-to-door, side-by-side, nearly even on the timing table off of 2. A great battle up at the front of the field. You see how tight that gap is. Can Iverson clear him here? No, he cannot. Won't even have the lead here at the stripe as Lyons battles back on the outside. Great action up at the front of the field right now. Iverson doing whatever he can to try and wrench this lead away from Lyons. That 48 machine not gonna give it though. And the 24 finally gonna have to settle in back behind the 48 of Lyons for the moment. After a couple laps where he was absolutely churning on the inside, trying to get something to go. Now Iverson maybe changing his strategy. He was looking high off of 4. Lyons though didn't give it to him. Both of them running about a half lane off the bottom. And it looks like the 48 going to open that gap just a little bit. The 24 may have lost a little bit of its speed. Maybe just trying to cool down those tires a little bit. Gets a great run through the middle of 3 and 4. Closes that gap right back up to nothing. The battle's on again up front. This time, though, the roles are reversed. Lyons to the inside, Iverson up high. Can the 24 make something happen here with the roles reversed? Gonna charge up to the back bumper, diving to the inside now is Iverson. Can he take the spot away in 3? Lucas Lyons gonna say no, not yet. Gonna hang on that outside quarter panel. Not giving him enough room to clear, and they'll remain side by side. Incredible defending from the 48. Persistent offense from the 24. Lyons getting that middle groove to work again. This is where he held on to the lead so well the last time. The 24 just did not get the run off of 2 he needed. Gonna lose a ton of speed. Maybe a little bit of a pinch from the 48, and it worked wonders there, as Iverson was not able to get any sort of forward momentum off of turn 2 that time. Coming off of turn 4, though, it's a different story. He again looks to the outside of Lyons here in the 1. Incredible sequence here right through the middle of this race. Lyons holding off Iverson with all that he's got. Iverson certainly overheating these tires, trying to make this pass work. He'll be on the outside here of 3 and 4. One of the few times he's tried to make it work on this side of the track on the outside lane. Gets a run off the corner though, and will technically lead that lap. Would not call him the leader just yet though, as they are very much door to door. No margin for error for either of these guys. The 24 way up the track. Lyons takes that lead away. The 24 washed up big time in turn 2. Lost a ton of speed and ended up falling back nearly a third of a second down the back straightaway. And I think we can all collectively catch our breaths for a second. What an incredible duel from Iverson and Lyons. The 48 will maintain control of the lead here. Lyons won the opening race of the playoffs at Pocono, and it's been in good form since, including 3 top 10s and 2 top 5s. Both of those top 5s coming in the past 2 races, with a 3rd at Kansas and a 4th at Darlington. You know we'd love to stamp home win number 2 of the year and win number 2 of the playoffs if he can get it done here today. Tony Iverson certainly not making it easy, but the 48 has looked up to the challenge so far. Is Iverson going to mount his 3rd attack of this run? He's worked his way back up to the 48. Once again, going to look to the inside here through 3 and 4. Oh, the 48 clipped the wall. Lyons had a gap there off of 3 and 4 and then clipped the wall, lost all that momentum. Could this be the chance for Iverson? Iverson going to try and slide up here, and he will. Tony Iverson capitalizes on the mistake from the 48. He'll take the lead, but he has got a mirror full of Lucas Lyons right now, who's going to have some drafting ability to work with for the first time in a long time. Drew Prail has closed in to within a second behind these two. He's the only car within the same zip code as Andy Kurtz, nearly 3 seconds back there in 4th. Off of turn 2 they go right now. Tony Iverson's got the lead. Lucas Lyons maybe looking back to the inside here. Iverson shutting the door in the middle of the corner, not giving the 48 any room or any clean air. Through the quad oval. That gap less than a car length as they go into turn 1. Iverson going to elect to defend the low lane. Lucas Lyons going to follow him right in his tire tracks through the corner. Every lap that these two battle side by side, it's let Drew Prail work his way ever so closer to him. He's almost within a second of him now. Iverson got a good run off of 4, opens up that gap to about 0.3 of a second, the largest lead he's had since these two began battling about 15 laps ago. But that 48 machine has not gone away just yet. Not a great run off the corner there for Lyons, but he's going to try and keep Iverson within striking distance here through 3 and 4. So we make our way on to lap 67, several laps past the halfway mark now, and this OiL Xfinity race from Texas Motor Speedway, the last race of the round of 12. After tonight, 12 playoff drivers will be cut down to 8 playoff drivers. Tony Iverson, your leader, trying to cut himself above that elimination line, currently 10th in points, but a win would punch his ticket to the next round in walk-off fashion. Would be dramatic, but it would certainly be the only way he can make it at this point. He currently leads by 0.7 of a second over Lucas Lyons, who now is starting to bridge the gap between Tony Iverson and third place runner Drew Prail. Our pole sitter, who worked his way from 9th to 3rd during that restart, now finds himself in really good position here to try and capitalize. He did not have to battle nearly as hard to get to that point. His tires might be a little bit fresher than the two guys ahead of him. And then it's a massive 3-second jump back to 4th place Andy Kurtz right now, who's also in a bit of his own island. That number 5 machine currently scored in P4, about 2.5 seconds ahead of Matt Grenier, who's in a fierce battle with Cody Anderson. We can jump on board with that here in 5th. Matt Grenier trying to defend from Cody Anderson. Those two cars, the last two cars in on points right now for the playoffs to make the round of 8. Anderson and Grenier in 5th and 6th. And now Anderson gets around Matt Grenier for 5th place. Cody Anderson going to try and make his way toward the front tonight. Having a really solid run in that number 42 machine. Still looking for that first top 5 of the year. He's finished 6th 3 different times. Top 5 would be his first. Matt Grenier right now in a good position points-wise. Came in only a couple points ahead of Justin Ray, who continues to struggle here tonight. That number 38 machine back in 17th. He's up over Bobby Hall, but that's the only car he's scored ahead of right now. So Justin Ray, the struggles continue here as he's trying to find anything to work to make his way into the round of 8. The rest of your top 10 as they run. Sean Kaiser in 7th. In his OiL Xfinity debut. Last week's winner, Michael Kostick, currently running in the 8th position. Alex Penn in the 30 machine, currently running in the 9th spot. 3-time winner this season. And Blake Hensley, currently the last car inside the top 10. As you see Kostick and Kaiser going to battle it out for 7th here. That number 8 machine trying to reel in the back bumper of the 25, but to no avail that time around. You see Hall look to make a move on the inside here. He's currently scored 1 lap down. Had the pit pretty shortly after we hit the restart from the stage break. That's more or less killed his chances here tonight, barring a caution that would give him the free pass, as he is the only car a lap down. I don't know what happened there. I think the 94 either locked up or just pushed the 25 out of the way. It's going to open the door for Kostick to capitalize into P7. 25 of Kaiser falls way back over half a second now behind Kostick. Not sure what happened there with the 94 and him. I had looked up right as it happened, but both of those cars were way out of the groove going into 3. Meanwhile, up front, Drew Prail has caught the leader, Tony Iverson. The Prail machine to the inside of Anderson here. The pole sitter back out front here at Texas. What a great charge there from the 80. Just going to go right on by him. Lucas Lyons now has fallen all the way back to 5th, but up front, Drew Prail, after falling way back in the opening stage, a pit stop put him toward the back end of the top 10, drove his way through, and everyone was all bottled together. And then I guess the 24 and the 48 used up so much of their stuff in that great battle for the lead that Drew Prail just rocketed on by. And the pole sitter leads again for the 2nd time here tonight. You can see a 5-second gap between these two cars and Andy Kurtz back in 3rd. Just cruising right now. And as the gap continues to open up here between Prail and Anderson, or Prail and Iverson, sorry. Gotta wonder what is left on the 24 machine to try and keep pace with the 80. And does the 80 have anything more, or did he burn up a lot of his stuff trying to catch the 24 of Iverson? We know this fuel window here, when you stretch it's about 40 laps. They got restarted around lap 45, lap 46 or so. So we've put over 30 laps onto these tires, which means within the next 5 to 10, I'd imagine we'll start seeing some takers for pit road. Making our way on to lap 78. Just over 40 laps to go here from Texas. Drew Prail, Tony Iverson checking out from the rest of the field. It's been an interesting year for that 80 machine, Drew Prail. You know, he basically ran the entire regular season, finishing outside the top 10, except for a 5th place finish at Richmond and a 10th place finish in the season finale at Daytona. Came in as the 15th car out of 16, just ahead of Wes Wiegand, who won his way in by winning Daytona. But since he hits the playoffs, he's been turning it on. Had a 10th place or a 22nd at Pocono to start the playoffs, which was looking great, but then followed up with a 3rd at Talladega and a 13th at Chicago to get enough points to advance. And then this round, a win at Kansas and a top 10 at Darlington has put him in prime position here to move on potentially to the round of 8. Looking to get his 2nd win of this round, which would be incredibly impressive after how this season started for that 80 machine. It looks like the 42 of Cody Anderson has brought it down pit road. The first car to kick off this cycle of green flag stops. Everyone, I think, is going to try and stretch it just a little bit further if they can. We know 40 laps was a bit of a stretch from that opening stage. Here comes the 24 of Tony Iverson down pit road. So this is about the fuel window where this could be your last stop if you play your cards right. Looks like Tom Hall also making his way down pit road there. 24 of Iverson going to need a quality stop here to keep himself in contention for the win. He's going to try and undercut the field. It looks like Prail has also pulled down pit road. Andy Kurtz inherits the lead. Iverson down and away. Here comes Prail into his box. See the 80 now stopping for his service. Locks it up a little bit into his box, but doesn't overshoot. Right side's up and down. Left side up. Caustic now also down pit road. Prail down and away. Let's see where he cycles out relative to the 24 of Iverson. There's a 1-lap difference with when they pit. There was the 24 of Iverson coming off a 2. Prail's got him by a little bit here, but he still has to get up the speed. That will be the question, as a whole host of cars making their way down pit road now. Looks like Prail might just be able to hold the advantage over Iverson here. So when this fully cycles through, Drew Prail, I believe, will inherit the lead. But there's a ton of cars now stopping on pit road, getting their service done for what will likely be the final time here tonight, barring the caution. Blake Hensley has temporarily inherited the lead. One of only about 3 or 4 cars yet to come down pit road. Now maybe he's also come down pit road. That means Justin Ray might be the only guy still on track here, unless he's already come on down. A very quick pit cycle. Only took about 4 or 5 laps for everyone to make their way on through. Blake Hensley, the only car yet to come down pit road. It's Cody Anderson, actually, being the first car to come down pit road, has actually jumped him into the lead spot. Once this all cycles through, the 31 still needs the pit. Cody Anderson going to inherit the lead here should the 31 come down pit road in a moment. I believe he actually just has. So now this is the battle for the lead here. Cody Anderson, Drew Prail going to duke it out. Tony Iverson just behind him as well. A great job on pit road by the 42. And now as we make our way on to lap 87, Cody Anderson has officially taken the lead for the first time tonight with that great call to get track position on pit road. The big question is going to be is, because he came down at lap 80, will he have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race? That is immediately going to be the question in my mind. He got the track position through strategy. If there is a caution, I think he's fine. However, if there is not, he might not have enough, and then it becomes a matter of can Prail or Iverson stick with him to get it done. This might all be for naught as well if one of those guys find his way around the 42 of Anderson. Anderson probably good on points here tonight, especially with the struggles that the 38 of Ray has had. But if the 24 of Tony Iverson wins, it moves the cut line up a driver, and then he becomes battling with Matt Grenier, who has had a far better night tonight. And that one will not be so easily decided, especially if the 42 can't make it to the end of this thing on fuel. Prail closing in, less than 2/10, a car length gap down the backstretch here to Anderson. Iverson about a half second back behind the 80. .42 though right now showing a steady wheel. Been able to expertly navigate his way through some of these cars in front of him. As you see, they are closing in, I believe, on the 67 of Michael Cole. Currently 2 cars off the lead lap. Justin Ray and Bobby Hall Jr. both scored 1 lap down. Michael Cole in danger of becoming the third here in just a moment, as the leaders are within a second and a half of him. Off the nose now of the 42. Little onboard action here with what Cody Anderson, our leader, is seeing. Try and take that lane all the way down to the bottom. The 80 going to do the same. Iverson starting to reel his way back into the picture as well. Closed up about 2/10 that lap. This is the battle for first, second, and third. Prail maybe has a run to the inside here off of 2. Gonna really dig down on that low lane. He is alongside the 42 for the lead. 30 laps to go from Texas. The top 3 cars, you could throw a blanket and cover all of them. Cody Anderson gonna try and hold on here with pit strategy. The 80 trying to cap off a miraculous round of 12. And Tony Iverson trying to win his way into the round of 8. All 3 of these guys with a whole lot to fight for. And some of them not a whole lot to lose, but others everything to lose. It's going to get real dicey, I think, if they stay this close to each other to the end of the race. Prail and Iverson go low. Anderson up high. A great run on the inside by the 80. Drew Prail takes the lead away from Cody Anderson in 3. The 80 back out front. The 24 going to follow him through on the inside. Going to slide up in front of Anderson. And now this battle that we got to see a lot of throughout the night of Drew Prail and Tony Iverson going to commence once again. Drew Prail going to get some open real estate here along with the 24 as the 42 starting to fade away a little bit. Michael Cole also putting a bit of distance between the two as they were battling. Tony Iverson has about 26 laps, or 27, to find a way around the 80, make it to the end of this race as the winner, and not only pick up his 3rd win of the season, but get the walk-off victory he needs to go into the race next week at Homestead, Miami, still competing for a championship. Drew Prail already locked in, but a win would give him a ton of playoff points, which will help in his hunt for a championship. Iverson looked to the outside through the quad oval, back down low in 1 and 2. Searching around, seeing what he can do to get past the 80 of Prail. There'll be 25 laps to go this time by. Less than 40 miles left from Texas Motor Speedway. They have really opened up the gap back to third. Anderson fell behind Kurtz in third, but they already a second and a half ahead of the 5. And then it continues to stratify out beyond that. Iverson not letting the 80 get away, though. Thought about looking to the inside there through 3 and 4. Going to get right up to the back bumper. Looking to the outside. Now back to the inside. Prail not giving him room either way. Ran a great line through the quad oval there to deny either opportunity from the 24. Iverson going to settle back in. He has the speed. You can see how close he is. Now looking to the inside. Blocked by Prail. Big block thrown down the back straightaway by the 80. The 24, I'm sure, not too thrilled about it. Gonna look to the inside, potentially going in the 1. The 80 dives all the way down toward the apron. 24 gonna follow him there. Back up to the backstretch they go now. Iverson continues to peek out a little bit to the inside. You're going to settle right back in behind the 80 here. Nearly lead back bumper. That's how close he is through 3 and 4. Will he have the run this time? He's looking to the inside. Block thrown again by Prail. They are literally pushing down the front straightaway. Iverson into the back bumper of Prail. That's how much speed that 24 has got right now. He just doesn't have a place to put it because the 80 is making that thing 3 lanes wide ahead of him. Ferocious defending from Prail, and another long, drawn-out battle for the lead here for Tony Iverson. Had to go through a grueling 15 to 20 lap battle with Lucas Lyons through the middle part of this race, and it might be some deja vu again as he clips the wall. Prail into the wall going in the 1. This is how Iverson capitalized on Lyons about 30 laps ago. Can he do it again? Might not be able to get the run he needed that time. Did not have the speed through 1 and 2. And Prail, despite the mistake, will retain the lead as they come to the line. 20 laps to go from Texas. Roaring through the quad oval here. Less than a car length gap between Prail and Iverson. Andy Kurtz not really making up any ground back there in third. And it continues to be a 2-horse race for the win. Iverson has been either first or second just about every lap of this race. Drew Prail started on the pole, fell all the way back to almost outside the top 10, and has rallied his way back to the front here when it's mattered most. Iverson needs this win to move on to the round of 8. Even if he finishes second, it won't be enough. Prail already locked in. Here comes Iverson to the inside now. Going to finally try and make his move through 1 and 2. Going to come out a lane lower. Diving into the corner now. Iverson going to roll that middle line, get right up alongside the door of Iverson. They'll be door to door off of 4. Coming to the line, it is going to be Drew Prail by the slimmest of margins temporarily. If that was the end of the race, it would have been a photo finish. Well, we've still got 18 laps to go here from Texas. Iverson still hanging to the inside there of Prail. And to finally jump back in line as they get ever so closer to Michael Cole. Can Iverson use lap traffic to his advantage here? Can Prail use lap traffic to his advantage here? It's about the only car they're going to see for the rest of this run. Prail barely ahead of the 24 in the turn 1. Could barely slip an index card between the two of them. As Prail, a little washed up there, coming off of 2. Here comes Iverson, but Cole was there. He had nowhere to go. Big block by the 80. And the 24 leans into the back bumper, pushing Prail up the track. And they'll get around Michael Cole. Here they come to the line, 16 laps to go. Drew Prail barely holding on over Tony Iverson. Iverson, I thought, was going to have the run there off of 2, but he did not have a window to strike as the lapped car of Michael Cole was there on the high side, forced the 24 way down low. The 80 blocked him. Back down the back straightaway they go once again. Big weave. Iverson looked low, Prail blocked. Iverson went back high. Here they come off of turn 4. How can they keep up this pace of battling, I wonder? Another push down the front straightaway. Iverson into the grass, shoving the 80 in the turn 1. Prail defending like his life depends on it right now. Iverson going to try and set this up for the 3rd straight time down the back straightaway. He's better off of turn 2 than the 80. Big slide. Going to look now to the outside in turn 3. Force the 80 to go low. Here comes Iverson up on the high side. He's looking really sharp out there. Can he find a way to close the gap through the quad oval? Prail gonna retain by just a little bit, but the 24 drives it in deep. Can he get that car rotated? Not that time around. Prail continues to retain the lead. Just barely. Big block again from the 80. The 24 shoves him into turn 3. Both cars wash up the track a little bit and then fight their way back down to the apron. Andy Kurtz has closed in about 3/10, but still remains a second back of this battle as we make our way to 13 laps to go. Drew Prail and Tony Iverson have been giving it everything they've had for the past 10 laps or so. And now the 80 a little slow off of 2. Iverson going to figure this out one more time. He tried doing the over-under, nearly turned the 80. Prail washes up the track in 3 and 4. Here's Iverson's moment to the inside. They're door-to-door off the corner. They lean on each other, nearly losing it. Through the quad oval they go, continued to be side-by-side. Unbelievable battling at the front of the field here for the race win and potentially a berth in the round of 8 if you're Tony Iverson. The 24 are going to try and slide in front of Prail here, and he will. Tony Iverson has taken the lead back here on lap 109, but the action's far from over. Can Drew Prail find his way back around the 24? Unbelievable battling, unbelievable tenacity from both of Iverson and Prail, one on the attack, one on the fence. But the 24 is starting to pull away a little bit. And just as I say it, Prail chops a 10th off that lead. Looks like Cody Anderson had to come down pit road. So he's on the freshest tires, but he has scored a lap down. He had the fuel position, the fuel strategy to get the track position temporarily, but it didn't end up working out in the long run. And now he gets around Prail, going to try and get up to Iverson, but it's completely opened up the gap up front. 3/4 of a second now between Prail and Iverson. Andy Kurtz is within striking distance of the 80 for second. 10 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway. We've had some phenomenal racing tonight up at the front of the field and all 3 stages of this race. Well, the 2 official stages, but, start, middle, and end. Unbelievable stuff. Tony Iverson, tenacious both times, eventually coming away with the lead. The question is, can he hold on to it? Is there enough tire left? Is there enough fuel left? He did come down a lap before the 80. It's going to make it that much harder to fuel save to the end. He came down pit road around lap 81. About 39 laps to the end or so. May have to be a little conscious of his fuel save. Might not be enough to be a factor with a 1-second lead, but it's definitely something that he has to keep in mind here because this one may not be in the bag just yet. Tony Iverson won 2 races in the regular season, the season opener at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then one at Charlotte. few races before the end of the regular season. Both of his wins have come on 1.5 miles this year. And the 24 looks to try and do it again here. Tony Iverson, a win would lock him in to the round of 8 in walk-off style, as he was 21 points back at the cut line tonight, which will raise some questions for the last spot. And because Anderson had to come down pit road to refuel, he's going to lose out a ton of time and track position to Matt Grenier, meaning I think the 42 of Cody Anderson is going to be tonight's big loser. If the 24 wins, he'll be the one that's kicked out of the playoff bracket, as Matt Grenier, running in 4th right now, will certainly be pulling home more points from the race win. There will be some questions, though, on the stage points, how that all factors into it. Next time by, it'll be 5 laps to go as we see a little more action here deeper in the field. You see Alex Penn and Kaiser, as Andy Kurtz now up on Drew Prail. That's the battle for second. As we get to the 5 laps to go here from Texas, Kurtz going to try and figure out his way past the 80 to take away that second spot. Nothing going that time, though. The 80 once again back onto the fence. How much more defending does he have in him, though, after that grueling fight with the 24 of Iverson? Almost some contact there. Now a little bit of contact between Kurtz and Prail. They doored each other going into 3. Kurtz, though, will take away second place. Prail settles back into 3rd. He's led 30 laps tonight and will possibly get the podium finish out of it, but probably not the win he was hoping for tonight, given the speed that he had. We got 4 laps to go here tonight. Tony Iverson, Andy Kurtz, Drew Prail, your top 3. Matt Grenier, Michael Kostick, your top 5. You see Prail going to try and mount one more charge here to try and get around. The 24 coming down pit road. Tony Iverson is coming down pit road. I do not believe he had enough fuel to make it to the end. Oh, this completely changes everything. With 3 laps to go, the walk-off victory dashed for Tony Iverson. So now up front, Andy Kurtz, out of nowhere, inherits the lead here tonight. He's got an 0.8 of a second gap over Drew Prail. The 5 may have just walked his way into a win, seemingly out of nowhere, as Tony Iverson has to come down pit road with 3 laps to go, was less than 5 miles away from locking himself into the round of 8. And just like that, it's dashed. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, Matt Grenier has caught Drew Prail for second. Can Grenier slip his way on by into P2? The 15 going to be looking to tie his best finish of the season. Finish second at Richmond in the regular season. He's going to get a good run here off the corner with the help of Bobby Hall. Flies right on by Prail. Prail falls back to 3rd. White flags in the air. Looks like the 80 is going to be running out of fuel now. Drew Prail down on the apron. With the white flags in the air, Andy Kurtz, seemingly out of nowhere tonight, has made his way to the front. The 2 cars ahead of him ran out of fuel, and coming off of turn 4 to pick up his second victory of the season, Andy Kurtz back in victory lane for the first time since Gateway in the 3rd race of the season. What a phenomenal race, and if you told me at any point in that race, up until about 3 laps to go, that Andy Kurtz was going to win it, I wouldn't have believed you. He had good pace. He didn't have race-winning pace, I don't think. But he's kept those tires on it. He kept enough fuel in the car, and everyone else started dropping like flies as you see Drew Prail just trying to make it to the end of this one. I don't think he's going to be able to, though. Came up 1 lap short. The battling with Iverson and Prail ends up costing the both of them. In a sense of poetic irony that even I can't justify or recreate. And Andy Kurt's going to burn it down here on that front stretch. Big burnout for a big victory for that 5 machine. Gives him an absolute shot of life here going into the round of 8. Had a 4th at Kansas and a 3rd at Darlington. Caps off the round of 12 with a victory. And he's going to be in a dangerous spot going into that round of 8. He very well could be one of our final 4 championship contenders at Phoenix. So we are going to take a quick commercial break after Andy Kurtz blows the engine there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, post-race interviews with your podium finishers, the final results from tonight's race at Texas Motor Speedway, and looking ahead to the round of 8. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Someone freeze. Welcome back, folks. What a thrilling final race of the round of 12 that we got here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. Unbelievable stuff. Guess we will bring in our race winner here tonight. Andy Kurtz in the 5 machine didn't think it was going to happen, and then materialized right in front of you in the final couple laps. Andy, congrats on the win. What happened out there?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, that was a very unique race. We were saving fuel from the green flag. So, yeah, I've never been in a race like that before. And going to the stage was pretty straightforward. I think we were all saving a heck of a lot. So, yeah, made it till the stage to pit under caution then, and then the last stint, if we could stretch it on fuel a couple laps, we could pit once. So that's pretty much what most everyone was doing. So I knew I was probably good. I was first in line for the show between Tony and Drew for a lot of those laps. I was just hanging out. saving fuel getting into one, you could shut the car off and brake and really not lose too much time, and then not quite 100% throttle all the way.
Quite the show up there as those two were duking it out for the better part of like 20 laps. How close were you on fuel when it came down to the end there?
I made sure I had just enough to do my burnout, so I ran out. Ran out when I stopped doing that, whenever that was. So,
Well,
too
fair
much.
enough, yeah. Um, enough to do a pretty solid burnout, if I do say so myself. I got to see quite a bit of smoke there on the front stretch, but you came into the round of 12 after not a great round of 16, but then a fourth at Kansas, a third at Darlington, the win here tonight at Texas. You're really rolling, or at least it seems like it with the results. You feeling confident going into the next one?
Yeah, definitely. I love this car. Overall, I've really enjoyed racing with everyone in this series, so I think we have a pretty good idea of how we all do it. A bunch of different types of tracks. So I'm not feeling good for the Roval, I'll be honest. I'm feeling good for next week though at Homestead. I like tracks like this, like tonight, Texas and Homestead. It's pretty normal intermediate NASCAR tracks. I think I'm gonna miss either the Roval or Martinsville. I'm gonna miss. Um, Not gonna be able to make the race, but hopefully I could get a win or point myself in with a lot of points, and maybe someone else will unfortunately have some bad luck and things will just go my way to make it into Phoenix. But yeah, gonna have to have a really good two race next round or grab a win to make it to Phoenix.
Well, you are cresting on the top of that momentum right now, and the points from tonight will certainly help a little bit, a little more playoff points with the victory there to help give you as much of a buffer as you can afford going into the round of 8. And we'll ask a question for you before we get to the shout outs. This is your second win of the season, but the other win came all the way back at Gateway, the third race of the season. It's been a little bit of a minute here since that number 5 machine has found its way back to victory lane in the OiL Xfinity series. Was there any doubts on that, or was it just a matter of time before you found your way back to the front?
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean you can't win them all, right? So I think like road courses, I'm really just not good at. Kansas, I felt like I definitely could have won that. That that one kind of came down to a few mileage race at the end, that one was way more unexpected. I was having a really fun time racing Lucas a couple weeks ago at Kansas and Caustic there at the end, but we ended up not even racing for the win, which is how it goes sometimes. So I felt like Kansas would have been good. Darlington I like a lot, did all right there. But yeah, I mean it's these are really a stout group of guys that we raced with. So yeah, just to be on the board with a win throughout the season to me is that was really the goal. So yeah, to have two, I'm pretty happy about that.
Nice. Well, yeah, with your win here tonight, you lock yourself in officially to the round of 8, although you probably would have pointed your way in as well, but some extra ones to go with it tonight. A solid run overall came to you and you capitalized. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out while we got you in the booth here?
Yeah, man. Yeah, just wanna thank you guys at Vspeed for putting on awesome broadcasts for us. All every race all throughout the season. So I'm not sure if I'll get to talk to you again throughout the end of the season, but if not, definitely want to thank you guys for doing this for us. I want to thank my teammates at Bandits and C2. It's been a lot of fun with them. Definitely learning a lot with them, running with them. It's a lot of us in there, so really appreciate them and yeah, just everyone else who puts this on for us, Alex and Dave and the admins.
All righty. Well, hey, congratulations on your win, Andy. Thanks for joining us up here, and we hope to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And that was Andy Kurtz, your winner here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. I nearly forgot where we were for a second. It's been a long day up here in the Vspeed booth, but we're going to bring in now our second place finisher, the 15 of Matt Grenier, who brings it home tonight, P2, tying his best run in the OiL Xfinity Series this season. Matt, congrats on the podium finish. Talk to us about your day.
Well, thanks, guys. Obviously, fuel strategy played a key role tonight. It was kind of trying to manage that and keep fast lap times, which is something I've always struggled at. Tonight, I seemed to figure it out a little bit, but first stage there, I didn't do it, and I was hoping that more people would duck on pit road at the towards the end of the stage, which didn't happen, but I was able to rebound and come back with a solid P2 there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really solid run for you, and a run that was very timely, knowing that you were just above that that playoff cut line to move to the round of 8, and you went out there and grabbed probably about as many points as you could have here tonight. And I don't have the points in front of me, but I feel pretty confident in the fact that you're likely moving on to the round of 8. And we look at this run for you. You've been pretty consistent in the playoffs so far, hovering around the back part of the top 10. You get the quality run here tonight with second place. Does that give you some momentum going into Miami next?
Yeah, we're coming up on some tracks that I like and feel like I run pretty well at. We'll see how that all plays out when we get there, but and it gives me a good push to go out and have a good run and see if we can kind of keep this run from the back moving forward.
Yeah, it's certainly been a good bit of momentum for you. So with Miami, the Roval, and Martinsville coming up ahead of us here, are any of those ones that you look at and you're like, yeah, that's going to be my opportunity to go out there and make some noise?
Probably Miami and Martinsville will probably be the two tracks that I'll have the best, we'll call it luck at. Roval, I'm not the best road racer. I'm trying, but there's a couple guys out there that are they're just strong every time we hit a road course, so they'll be tough to beat. But we're going to go out and give it our best shot.
Well, we'll certainly be wishing you the best of luck come that. But before we get there, obviously, anyone you would like to thank or shout out here to celebrate your podium finish here tonight?
Yep, I just got to thank my my lovely wife for letting me do this each week. My mother-in-law, who's staying with us, I've currently kicked her out of her sleeping area so that I can do this tonight. My daughter, who sleeps through the night and allows me to be able to do this. Alex and Dave for putting the league on, and you guys for putting on a great broadcast.
All righty. Well, hey, thank you. Appreciate that. And congratulations on the quality run you had here tonight, Matt. Strong effort there for you in the 15 machine. And with that podium finish, we got to talk to you a little bit tonight, and hopefully we get to do so again real soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. And that was Matt Grenier, our second place finisher. That was a very good run here tonight for Grenier, tying his best finish so far in OiL Xfinity Series action, tying his run from Richmond. And by far his best run of the playoffs. This round was the 13th and the 10th. Gets to stack on a second place to it as well to move his way on to the round of 8 most likely. And then last but not least tonight for our post-race interviews, finishing third place tonight, it is the 31 machine of Blake Hensley. And Blake, I'll be honest with you, I want to congratulate you. I mean, you had to go through most of the entire field here tonight, but I was surprised to see you pop in there. I didn't realize that you had jumped into third, but looked like a couple cars were running out of fuel in those last couple laps, and you were able to capitalize.
Yeah, it's a dang shame they don't give out victories for passing the most cars. 'Cause I don't think anybody else passed more of them than I did tonight. Honestly, especially that last run. With that last run, I think we got about 12 or 13 of them there in that last stint. So that was the fun part of the night. But yeah, just another bridesmaid finish. Feeling like Mark Martin over here.
Yeah, and that's, in a lot of cases that would be a good thing, but in that specific instance, maybe not so much. But I mean, you had to do quite a bit of work getting through the field tonight. What was it like having to try and go through the field not once, but twice this evening?
A lot of patience, which I don't have very much of. You can just ask my wife about that. She's a good one to tell you, but it was a lot of just being determined and trying to trust the process of just being slow but fast eventually, and it seems to work to some extent. I think I needed just about another lap, maybe 2 laps, and I probably this would be reversed a little bit. You've been talking to me first tonight, but yeah, just tried to make it last as long as I could those first 2 stints for the stage, and then after the stage. But so close once again.
Yeah,
That's the story of this season.
it really has been, and that was actually going to be my last question for you there, Blake. It's the sixth top 5 of the year for you, but still looking for win number 1. What's it going to take to break through and finally pick up that last spot or 2 that you need?
If I knew the answer to that, I think I would have done tried it by now. Seems like I've tried about every different
that's
approach
fair.
I can think of, and nothing's really worked just yet. So I don't know. Uh, we'll just keep on grinding away at it, and our time will come eventually. We got some good tracks left on the schedule for the season. Looking at the Roval, so got my eyes got that one circled on the schedule for sure. And but the rest of the places, we can run fast, and we can run with them guys. So there's a chance anywhere we go for the rest of the season.
I do find it funny. There's been 2 very separate camps tonight on those who feel the best about the Roval and those who feel the worst about the Roval. There's been no in between. It's either been like, yep, not going to look forward to that one, or that's going to be the one that's circled. So
It's rough. It's one of those
producer
feast or famine.
Christian, not a fan.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan either, but hey, it's a road course, so I feel like I've got a pretty good chance there. I hope Alex Penn's not listening to this. Love you, but I really want to beat that guy so bad. um, so we'll do what we can. Um, but yeah, it's a very interesting little twist to the rest of the season for sure.
No doubt about that. Well, while we've got you up here, Blake, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out before we let you go on your way?
Yeah, most importantly, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thankful for my wife for letting me get away for a little while on the weeknights to do this. I think she's done crawled up in the bed, or she would have missed a pretty entertaining last 35 laps. But it's all right. I'll show her that little bit of money I made tonight and tell the story in the morning. I'm sure she'll be just as happy. Hopefully. Um, Big shout out to Smyrna Ready Mix Concrete, and they are my employer and my number 1 sponsor. So if you're looking for quality concrete with unmatched service, you can call that number on the side of my car. For me, the fastest concrete mixer truck virtual race car driver. That's a lot to get out, and or any location around you, and I'm sure they'll service your needs. Holland's Head Mixer Company, Concrete Pump Partners, and the Racers for Christ Ministry. Big shout out to them also, and you guys for a wonderful broadcast as always. It's always good to admin team for putting on this league and these races. Sure has been a fun season, and really not looking forward to it being over. It seems like it's flown by, but excited to wrap it up and see what else it holds.
Yeah, it certainly is getting close to that time, but still got a few more fun ones on the schedule here. Congrats congrats on the podium there, Blake. Thanks for joining us up here in the booth. We hope to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll get in here for one of those victory speeches sometime.
Maybe you got 4 more cracks at it before the year's done.
4 more tries.
And that was Blake Hensley, driver of the 31 tonight, who brought it home in 3rd place, getting from 17th to 3rd. Driver of the day pick tonight. Producer Christian, who are you feeling as your driver of the day selection? He's picking the 48 of Lucas Lyons. I am going to go as well and say that the 24 of Tony Iverson strategy came up just short, but man, was he putting on an absolute show out there tonight, battling with the leader all throughout the night. That great battle with Lyons, the great battle with Prail. I mean, just incredible stuff all around. But ultimately, Fuel came up a little bit short, and the 48 had that great battle up there with Lucas Lyons for a long time, and then the 48 just kind of fell back a little bit at the end, but he had a solid day as well. So I think those are our two picks, Tony Iverson and Lucas Lyons. Stellar runs here tonight. Producer Christian picking the 48, I picking the 24. Well, that is going to bring us, I believe, to our final results here this evening. As you see on screen there, Lucas Lyons up 9 spots. Good run for him tonight. But Andy Kurtz picks up the victory in surprising fashion. He will win from 6th place tonight, 7/10 ahead of Matt Grenier in 2nd place. Blake Hensley, the last driver that we got to talk to in the booth here, finishing 3rd, ahead of Daniel Cunningham, finishing 4th. And in his OiL Xfinity debut, Sean Kaiser brings it home 5th in that number 25 machine. Alex Penn in the 6th position here in the number 30, just ahead of Lucas Lyons in the 48, who was battling up front a lot tonight. Dustin Reinsettle brings it home in the 8th position ahead of Barrett Morton, who finishes 9th, and Michael Kostick, who will finish 10th here this evening. A little farther on back, Brett Bieber up to 11th from 18th tonight. He will finish as the first car outside the top 10. Cody Anderson had the lead a little bit in the closing stages, but had to come down for fuel late. Ultimately cost him down to 12th place. Just ahead of Drew Prail, who ran out of fuel on the final lap after doing so well, battling for so long up front. Ultimately, just not enough to stick it out to the end. Same deal there with the 24 of Tony Iverson, who was in a must-win situation, had to peel down pit lane with 3 laps to go for fuel. All 3 of those guys, incredible efforts up front, just came up a little bit short. Michael Cole finishes 15th tonight in the 67 machine. Bobby Hall Jr. finishing 16th in the 94. Justin Ray 17th, and Tom Hall in 18th. And as you can see, only the 1 caution for the stage break, but 19 lead changes out there tonight. Truly, it was a battle up front all evening long. It was a ton of fun. But that was our final results here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. As the sun continues to set down on the horizon here, it's going to bring another OiL Xfinity race and put it into the books. Looking ahead to next week, the round of 8 will begin. The round of 8 kicks off at Homestead Miami Speedway next week, May 21st at 9 p.m. That one will be the first of 3 races in the round of 8 to determine who will be battling for the championship at Phoenix. That one here live on Vspeed as always. The OiL Trucks and OiL Cup Series also run here on Vspeed. Mondays at 9 and Wednesdays at 9, respectively. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Vspeed and all of its fun racing content that it brings you daily. We've got like 4 different leagues that race here on Tuesdays alone, let alone where there's plenty of stuff to watch. So if you haven't already, feel free to do so and keep up to date on all of your favorite sim racing leagues. But that is going to do it for our coverage here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway, the OiL Xfinity Series coming to a close. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. On behalf of Vspeed and my producer tonight, Christian Hill, I've been Alex Gagnon saying thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week for the first race of the round of 8.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The round is burned!
Cabot.
Good Joe for you, buddy.
Come from